Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here. Today we're going to be reviewing Tooth and Claw from Modern Doctor Who Series 2 with David Tennant as the always impressive 10th Doctor. I like this one a lot. I've always really enjoyed this one. I like the fact that Tennant gets to use his actual Scottish dialect here because he does pretend to talk Scottish when talking with Queen Victoria in places. So it's nice that he gets to use his actual voice in this story. I'm sure he enjoyed that. I love the fact that they brought the actress who plays Queen Victoria, I can't remember her name right off, back in this. Because I know she was also in Classic Who. She played in The Faceless Ones. So I love when Modern Doctor Who sneaks in Classic Who alumni. I always enjoy that. So when I found that out, I got really excited. I didn't find that out until way after I saw Tooth and Claw, but I still get excited finding it out. She does a great job as Queen Elizabeth. I really like her in this. She does have this very regal characteristic to her, but also this no-nonsense, don't screw with me, I'm a queen, damn it, attitude that I like. She's really good in this role. I can never quite figure out where in the story the 10th Doctor slips and goes back to his English accent when he stops using the Scottish accent. You know, she mentions that at the end, you, whose accent comes and goes so easily. And I remember the first time I watched it, and I still do this every time, I'm like, I can never pinpoint, because I never notice. I get so caught up in the story, because I love the story, that I never notice when he slips and forgets to use his Scottish accent and instead starts talking with his more standard British voice. I can never pinpoint the exact spot. I've seen that story over half a dozen times, and I still can't do it. It's done in the story so well. I love werewolves. I'm a huge werewolf fan. When I was little, when Fox was just coming out here in the States, the Fox Network in 1987, one of their initial shows was an actual TV show called Werewolf, which is actually Chuck Connor's last TV role, actually. He plays the villain in a handful of episodes, Scorzani. God, best werewolf performance ever. Hey, man, he's such a good villain as werewolf. But I loved this show when I was little. Again, I was in like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, you know, or kindergarten, first grade when it came out, and I loved the show. Like to this day, I still love the show, even though it's never been released on DVD here in America. It took it 30 years to get a DVD release because of music rights, and it came out in France. Luckily, somebody's been uploading episodes of it on YouTube recently, so I've been able to watch some of the episodes of it for the first time in like 30 years. But because of that, because of that show, again, it's just called Werewolf, I have a strong affinity for werewolves. So I really like that in this episode, that it has to do with werewolf. I like when Doctor Who does horror. So Doctor Who does werewolf, I'm there for that. The werewolf itself looks a little dated, the effects, it looks a little dated, but for me, that's kind of part of Doctor Who in general. Is Doctor Who is supposed to look a little naffed. Maybe not completely naffed, but a little naffed. It's supposed to look a little, you know, wink and use your suspension of disbelief on it. It's supposed to have that. For me, that's part of what makes Doctor Who Doctor Who. One of the issues I have with the Whittaker era is that it's a little too polished, a little too cinematic. It doesn't quite feel like Doctor Who. I actually have a video I did about that I never aired. Long story. It was over an hour long. So I like the fact that the werewolf doesn't look like, you know, 2022 movie quality perfect, but it looks good. The human who turns into the werewolf, I don't think much of him. We don't really find out much about him. He seems basic, like the most basic form of basic, like a blank slate. But once he turns into a werewolf, that's really cool. I like that Queen Victoria's husband and the other guy who in the house, how they work together to try to trap the werewolf, how they create that one room. It's really cool that weed wards off the werewolf, not because it actually wards it off, but because the werewolf's been conditioned to fear it and to think it wards it off. That's pretty cool. And how it has that room the werewolf can't get in. But the thing I can't get over is, how do they ignore the little glass ceiling thing? It's like they go through all this room to prepare, all this work to prepare this room to keep the werewolf out, and they completely ignore the glass dome. Why did they do that? Because the plot needs them to do that. this is one of those things, convenient plot is convenient. Or convenient plot twist is convenient. Something like that. And so the werewolf gets in because of the plastic. I just don't know how you missed that. All right, we've got the room, werewolf proof. What do you think we need to do? I'm thinking a skylight right there. How about you, Frank? Skylight? Yeah, skylight. Yes. I don't know. That's a little silly. All of the actors, I think, are doing a pretty good job. The guy who runs the house, who's forced to help the werewolf cult, I think the actor does a good job there, and he redeems himself well at the end. I like the woman playing his wife in it. I really like the guard that's with Queen Victoria, the main one, the kind of number one guard. I like him a lot. I really like the actor playing him. He does his duty. I like it. I like when he tells the one guy, you're a traitor. You keep her safe, Doctor, and how he stays behind, knowing there's no way he can kill the werewolf, but to buy time. I think that's an honorable soldier thing to do. So I really like that character, much like how the guy who kind of got forcibly having to help the cult people, how he stays behind with the sword even though he can't win, just to buy them the few seconds they need to get everything set up. If you're going to go out, that's the way to go out. So props to them. The cult people I don't really care for. Again, much like the human werewolf when he's in human form, they're kind of blank slates. Even the cult leader with the shaved head, they don't really have that much depth to their character. I don't even remember why they're doing that, other than it's a cult of wolf thing. I don't really remember it. They're very vague characters. I do like the little maids that work in there and how they take the offensive with Rose and how they get the herbs together and splash the creature with the stuff to send it running off. It's pretty cool to see them taking some action there. To me, though, the cool end result of this is what causes Torchwood to get formed. Because at the end, Queen Victoria, after knighting the Doctor and then banishing him because she doesn't trust him, that she creates Torchwood just to keep an eye out in case he ever comes back. And that's interesting. It's another example of the Doctor inadvertently creating his own problems. Because the Doctor, while taking it seriously, doesn't take it maybe as seriously as he should, and he doesn't stay behind to clean up his mess. Of course, he kind of can't in this situation. She does exile him. He inadvertently causes future problems, much like later when the cyber invasion happens at the end of the season, because Torchwood is meddling. If that hadn't happened, maybe the cyber invasion wouldn't have happened, and all those people wouldn't have died or been converted. This is once again a case of the Doctor causing part of future problems, much like in how at the end of the long game, him not sticking around causes all the problems that happens later at the end of Series 1. This is another example of him inadvertently causing future problems later with everything with Torchwood. And the Doctor, especially, and even in the classic series, this isn't something new to modern Who. The Doctor has done this accidentally before. Face of Evil is a great example of that. When the Doctor shows up on that planet and meets Leela, and it's all because of a mistake he inadvertently made in the past when he was trying to help. So we've seen that before with the Doctor. Sometimes he is his own worst enemy. That old saying about the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of fits here, because he wants to help, but sometimes he has, his help has unforeseen consequences, kind of like, a butterfly effect or ripples in a pond after a stone is thrown into it. So that's pretty neat. I do love that scene too when the Doctor first sees the werewolf and he's just like, "You are beautiful," and Rose has to be like, "No, we need to go." That's a very Doctor thing to do. That's a very, very Doctor thing to do. Instead of, "Oh my God, there's a werewolf, I need to run," his immediate reaction is, "Oh my God, you are beautiful," and Rose has to be, "Come on, come on." I love that moment. That's one of my favorite scenes in the episode. That strikes me as a very genuine Doctor response, and I love that. Much like how in The Girl in the Fireplace, even though the little clockwork creatures are trying to kill them and all of that, he still admires the work of them, the kind of steampunk look and everything they have going on. That's very much the Doctor, and I can appreciate that. So yes, Tooth and Claw. I didn't re-watch it for this review. I've seen it so many times that as much as I love this episode, and I wasn't quite up for a rewatch. That's why it's taking me so long to get the review done. So it's a little fainter in my memory. but I've seen it at least half a dozen times because I love the episode. So I got most of the sticking points there. So, Tooth and Claw, what do you think of that one? Comment down below and let me know. It is definitely one of the strong points of Series 2 for me, because Series 2 has a lot of ups and downs, and I consider Tooth and Claw definitely one of the ups of the series. So comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I want to give a shout out to a new patron who just joined, Colin, what was his last name? Coney? Maybe he's French. Coney. It's either Coney or Connie. I forget, but it's Colin, which I'm sure there's a certain sixth Doctor who would be like, more of me. So Colin, I really appreciate you joining. He joined at the William Hartnell tier, and that means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. It's great to have you. If you have any video requests or anything, just let me know and we'll get that knocked out. I also want to give a shout out to one of my other patrons, the Fifth Doctor, as this was a patron request from him. He wanted me to review Tooth and Claw. I believe the 10th Doctor might be his favorite Doctor. I know he likes the 10th Doctor. I can't remember, but I think 10 might be his favorite. You have to let me know about that one. Although you think with a name like the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison would be his favorite. But I don't know. I think 10 is his favorite. He'll have to let me know. So I do want to thank the 5th Doctor for the video request, because I did enjoy filming it. And I do need to watch it again. I just haven't been in the mood to watch it again. I've watched so much of Tennant's era, so much. Because I was a huge Tennant fanboy back in the mid-2000s, late 2000s, early 2010s, mid-2000s. I was a Tennant fanboy for a long time. He was my strong number 2 for a long, long, long time. He's only fallen down the list really the past, like, 3 or 4 years as I've been watching so much more of, like, Troughton and stuff. God, Troughton's amazing. Other things to do, if you would like to join my Patreon, there is a link to that down in the description below. Please check that out if you have a chance. I have tweaked the tiers and added a couple recently as I'm recording this, which is mid-July. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me, as well as an Amazon wish list, which I update regularly. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.